Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angela and today I'm going to specifically talk about how to get a perfect score for SAT mathematics. So firstly, a little bit about me. I took the SAT twice. I took it the first time at the start of my 11th grade and got 790 for the maths section. I was going to take it another time in around 2 months, but all SAT testing in Melbourne was cancelled because of COVID, right until the end of my 11th grade. So I took the SATs the second time then and got 1550, scoring 800 on the mathematics section. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to prepare for SAT math in chronological timing and then share my study plan and motivations. So firstly, prepare early. SAT maths concepts are generally concepts from year 9 or year 10, so when studying mathematics in class, make sure you listen carefully and fully understand each concept. This makes your SAT maths preparation much easier later on. Tip number 2. When you begin to prepare full-on for SAT, make sure you do a diagnostic test to figure out which type of questions you struggle the most with. For example, for me, when I was doing practice papers, there was a period of time where I could consistently score between 750 and 790, but could really never reach the 800 mark. This was because there was always one concept I struggled the most with, and I didn't take time to thoroughly learn this concept. So I was always getting it wrong whenever this concept was tested. Spend time to figure out which concepts you're unsure with, and then try to fix them. This will significantly boost up your score. Thirdly, when you figure out your mistakes or questions you struggle the most with, do practice questions specifically on that. Because there are limited real SAT practice papers, so don't really waste them. Practicing a specific type of questions through platforms like Khan Academy is really helpful and saves you a lot of time doing whole maths papers when it is pretty long. Doing this helps you to maintain a score above 750, but if you want to increase your score to 800, you must do the following steps. So step number 4, some SAT questions were written to trick you. So you're likely to make 2 to 3 careless mistakes during the process that drags your score down from 800. For this issue, there are a few ways to try to solve them. So firstly, underline keywords in the question and read all of the multiple choices. Even though this process may be slow and time-consuming, it does increase the accuracy of your answers. However, this is not recommended if you have a timing issue. In this case, you should time manage first and try to do questions at a faster rate before attempting this tip. Step number 5. When doing questions, try to first identify the topic area. For instance, is it testing you on linear algebra, trigonometry, circular functions, or statistics? Identifying the subtopic area helps you to recall this type of question and figure out an approach to do them. Tip number 6. For those of you who don't have time management issues, do leave out time to check over your work. Leave at least 10 minutes if you can to redo some questions you're unsure of. For me, I complete maths questions at a pretty fast rate, so I can basically finish all the problems in around half of the time given. In this case, I covered up my original answers and tried to redo them. Although I can identify information that I've previously neglected and change my wrong answer, I do realize they are questions that I previously thought were easy and can definitely work it out. But it turns out they're questions that I'm most likely to miss information. So watch out for these as well. So that's my general 6 tips for scoring 800 for SAT mathematics. I'm going to move on to my study plan for SAT math. In general, I didn't entirely prepare for SAT math until a few months before the actual test, but I've always revised and understood the concepts from school math well before going on to prepare for SAT. When I started to fully prepare for SAT, I did a practice paper nearly every day. So this means either a non-calc paper or a calc paper on weekdays. After doing the papers, I spent around half an hour checking my answers, reviewing my mistakes, and trying to find a link between them. This timing depends on the number of wrong questions you have, but they typically range between half an hour to an hour. On weekends, I do a full SAT practice paper each Saturday with rest breaks and exact timing as the actual test. This means that the paper will start at 9 a.m. for me. After doing it, if you still feel energized enough, it is best to review your mistakes like after a 2-hour lunch break. This will typically take around 2 to 3 hours, as you will need to check both calc and non-calc questions and also the reading questions. It is okay to take a break that afternoon and review your mistakes Sunday morning, but you should definitely review them this weekend. I know reviewing mistakes is quite a tedious experience, but think about it this way: if you do it properly, then you probably won't need to retake the SAT ever again. But if you don't do it properly, you're likely to take it again and do all of this process again as well, which is more painful. So that's my study routine. Try to prepare for SAT as early as possible, especially because in years 11 and 12, your school workload typically increases significantly. I know friends that have prepared for SAT whilst doing their IB internal assessments, which is a quite stressful experience that I really discourage. So try to do SAT preparation as early as possible. Just finishing with some general motivation tips. Despite SAT being optional for a lot of colleges at the moment, a lot of students still chooses to submit their SAT score, so definitely give SAT or ACT a try if you can handle your schoolwork and extracurriculars. At the same time, you should set a specific SAT score goal in your mind and try to achieve them. You can try preparing with your friends, which may make the experience more entertaining. However, everyone may be at different levels, so it's best if you can find a friend who is at the same level as you are and motivate each other. For me, since I'm based in Australia, not a lot of people take the SAT, so I generally prepare on my own, but my friends definitely give me emotional support. For instance, we sometimes jump on Zoom together to study together. She might be studying in-class content, whilst I might be reviewing my SAT wrong questions. So having someone learning alongside should definitely motivate you to keep going. But when doing practice papers, I wouldn't do it with my friends or stay on Zoom during that period of time, because the screen in front of you may really distract you and you won't be able to time yourself properly. So that's all of my tips and suggestions for scoring a perfect score for SAT Maths. I hope this helped you with your preparation. Let me know in the comments below if you find it helpful and did improve your SAT score over time. Last note, SAT don't determine your abilities, so don't overly stress about it. Stay happy and motivated. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more study tips. See you in my next video. Bye!